Hello, this is Dank's Meme Daddy from 24 to Live, here to explain the Google Sheets and Google Docs inventories. Now, these inventories will contain all of the information on your character, items you have, whatever it may be, it'll be here. It should have already been given to you if you were registered. If not, still I recommend you watch it, as you'll get it later. Now, there are two inventories. Primarily, the one we'll be using is Sheets, but the Docs is made as a failsafe in case Sheets is not compatible with your device or you're having issues with it. Not really recommended to use, but you'll see it can have everything that the other does as long as you edit it properly. But the regular format is Sheets, and it's what I'll be mainly doing this tutorial on. But you can see it has the same things: name, ability, armor, skill trees, weapons, items, spells, armor slots, you name it. Even has a log at the bottom. But that's rather simple. This is what we need a tutorial on: Sheets. Now you can see it's split into 5 tabs. Now if you don't know how Google Sheets works, I recommend looking up, well, you get used to it as you go, but you can look up different things for Google Sheets. Like, some people may not know how to move these bars, right? You can just move them like that. And there's always a backspace. And if you ever fuck up your inventory so massively, all changes are saved in your drive, so you can always go back on a change in case things like go wrong. Now, as for that, if you need to look up anything for Sheets, it's all on Google. Very easy to find since it is a Google product. And let's get on to the tutorial based on the 24TL system. Now you'll see it's split into 5 tabs here: main, skills, log, storage, and companions. It's pretty simple. Main has all of your items and general information. Skills has all your abilities, including physical skills, spells, magical skills, technological skills, and things you can craft, as well as miscellaneous for some things that just don't fit under anything. I couldn't give you an example, but it's there just in case. Now the log is all the quests you can do or completed, and everything you've ever done, as in important events. And storage is things that are not on your person, but you still need to keep track of. And companions is people you meet and have a large influence. They don't even need to be traveling with you. It's more like have a very much importance to your character. Now let's go into all these with more detail. The main inventory, as you can see, is a bit showy. You can get images. There are bars, there's money. It's all pretty organized. So let's just start from the top here. The health bar, the mana bar, the stamina bar. Now, obviously when you get damaged, you'll edit this number here, and you'll see the bar corresponds to how much health you have. And the mana bar does the same, and so does the stamina bar. Now, you most likely won't be using the stamina bar that often, but you can see if they're all low, they do get a little funky, but that's because it's based off the highest number there. I can't really set it to 100 just flat out, but that's how it is. And it's pretty simple. Most of the time you'll have one of these at 100 anyway, so it'll never really look that bad, but you'll know what you have the most of and all that. Now moving down, we got time, name, skill trees, race, and your unique ability. This is pretty much general information. Time, you can include the day you're on if you want. As you can see, you just edit it Let's say you're day 60 and it's 12 in the morning. Just spawned. There you go. You can go down to minutes if you really feel like it. Most of the time it's not necessary, but let's say it's 12:01. There we go. Now your name, pretty obvious. You put your name here. If it's longer, well, you can wrap the text. I'm not going to really pester you about that, but name is pretty easy. Let's just put dankman. There we go. You can put a last name too. You make it up, so there's nothing to put there that would bother you. Your skill trees, now you only get to choose 2. Let's just say I'm technical physical, and it'll stay like that forever. You'll never need to edit that square again. Race, you can choose a few races. There's hardly any benefit to it, but I'm just going to put human for simplicity. This is so your DM knows how the world will look at you. And your unique ability, whatever the hell word that was sent to you by either your DM or Nish or anyone who might have registered you. You most likely got this word. If you didn't, ask for it because it's important to your character. And you can put notes on your unique hidden ability right here. There's not a lot of space for it. That's because it's really just supposed to be like a few words to describe what you think it is. Now, moving on. Got a karma bar here. Bases off how much good or bad you've done in the world. As you can see, it does go up and down based upon your actions and does go into negatives all the way to -100. It's pretty simple. Never leave it with a blank space. Put in 0 if you have no karma. And in the top right, you'll see current effects and a description of it. Let's say you're missing a hand. You can put you're missing a hand here and then describing how it's cut off. However you want to do it. Or you can put you have a disease or you have a potion effect on. Whatever it may be, you can put it here. There's limited slots for it, so pick what's most important. Going down, money. You don't need to put this in your bag because most of the time you can get a money pouch and it's just assumed you have one. It's not that hard to get one. But money pouch, copper, silver, and gold, and platinum. Most of the time this platinum will only be at a 0 or a 1 if the person's very rich. If it's ever higher than that, you're carrying too much money on you. Now moving on from the top, we can go into the items. Now you can see armor here. Head, torso, hands, pants, boots, accessories. Most articles of clothing will fit under these. If not, I don't know what you're wearing. But as you can see, everything has an item, description, and image. I'll show you how to import the image in a little, but what's important is you put the item down, description of the item. As you can see, cloth shirt has it. Sort of examples here. It is optional to put a very lengthy description, but there's space for it if you want. Most of the time you can assume what it is if you put a picture. But hey, if it's not exactly what the picture says, well, you can make sure to mention that. Now, let's just say hypothetically, right? I'm wearing 2 things on my head. Let's say I'm wearing a hat and goggles. Now I can either put it in the same slot, or I can make a duplicate slot, insert one below, and I can put head again, and I can do goggles here. It's all the same, as long as you know what's there. Whoops. Hold on. As long as you know what's in the inventory, that's what matters. As long as anyone can read it, it's fine. Doesn't really matter how you format it. You can edit it quite a bit. It's pretty free reign. If you find a better system, I might even add it to the original. Anyways, so let's just say This hat is a blue cap. Whatever. And these goggles protect my eyes. Let's say I want to add an image of these, right? It's actually quite simple. You click on the cell, you go to insert, you go to image, image in cell, then you go to search, and you can actually use Google to just search up the image right here. So if I put goggles down, all these things will pop up. I can click on what I want, what it most looks like, and it should insert, and it's done. That's it. Easy as that. On mobile, it's a little bit more annoying, but you can just have your DM do it on a computer. And options, images are optional, so it doesn't really matter. Let's say I'm not wearing these anymore, and I don't have anything on my head. You can just delete the row. It won't affect anything. Just make sure there's nothing also on the same row that'll interfere. Now, going further down, you can see you have equipped weapons. These are not weapons that are in your bag. If they're in your bag, they go in your bag. If they're in your hands, they go here. Notice there are 3 slots. If you're holding more than 3 weapons simultaneously, I don't know what you're doing. I really, I don't know. Maybe if you can make the argument, you can put ammunition here if you want, right? So bow, arrow, ammunition, sword, or dagger, or whatever. I don't know how you'd be holding more than 3. If you are, you can add another row, but you might want to rethink your strategy if you are. So it follows the same header, item, description, image. Now, it is smaller for weapons, as you can see, but you can always just edit these rows and make them larger like this. Really, all rows are made to be small until something's put in them, besides the armor, because it already is default in there. But that's basically just how you insert something in. Also, you should probably put what hand you're holding it in the first slot here. Moving on to items, it's the same thing as armor, except there's a little bag slot here. I recommend putting the image of the bag you have right here, or down below, and describe it a bit, as it doesn't technically qualify as an item, as it is the bag you're holding all the items in, and it'd be redundant to put a bag in a bag. So do what you want, I guess. Now, item, description, image. Let's say I'm carrying a potion. You put potion. You put what you know about the potion. You may not even know what it does. And you put potion bottle here. Easy as that. And that concludes main. Let's move on to skills. As you can see, there are physical skills, there are spells, there are technological skills, and there's crafting. Now, physical skills includes basically anything that you can do physically, obviously, like weightlifting, sneaking. You can put picklocking here. It could also go in technological if you want. Either work. Weapons you can use, weapons that you can't use, armor that you're used to wearing, whatever it may be, put it here. Keep in mind that you cannot do physical skills that you don't possess. Let's say you want to do a flip and you've never done a flip. You can't carry it out unless it's in the inventory. So I recommend putting down everything your character can do. Obviously, your DM will decide what you can do. If you put something down that isn't true, well, it'll be removed. Now moving on to spells. Obviously, you'll learn spells throughout your adventure. If you are a magical main, you'll start out with 2. You just put down the name of it, the cost of the spell, and a description. Most likely, you'll need to expand this bar, but whatever you want, I guess. Now moving on to magical skills. It's different than spells, obviously, like enchanting, or you can put meditation here if you want. Some people are better at it than others. And technological skills, you can put like reading, you can put carpentry, you can put sewing. Obviously the skill, the description, and the hours spent training. Most of the time we do hours spent training instead of like a level system, because it's a lot easier to imagine your level of skill when it just says, oh, I spent 30 hours doing this. I should be pretty good at it, right? Yeah, I think so. Now, do keep in mind, technological skills and crafting are rather similar, but there is a difference when marking it down. Crafting is specific, technological skills is general. Let's say I can make a sword. I'd put it under crafting, but I would say smithing in my technological skills. Quite easy. Let's move on to the log. Now the log, the quests are completely optional, right? It's really just if you want to like make fancy names or remember what your goals are, I'd use the quest tab. Now the log down here, starting at 10, you'll see there's a lot of space here, and it's basically just a blank sheet. Now what you want to do, the day you start, you edit it in. So let's say day 60, day I started. Then you click this little blue box, you drag down, and it'll just autofill them in. Pretty useful. Google Sheets. If you look through the tutorial, you can find that, you can do that, and a lot of other things very easily. It's a powerful program. Now, I recommend in these logs, they are mandatory, as anything not marked down in the logs can be counted as forfeit and not happened. So I recommend you get your DM, or you yourself hold the responsibility to fill these out. And it's just like bullet points. It's bullet points. You just say, woke up at 12 in forest. Then you can say, you met an old lady. And then you can put down next, learned how to dance. Easy as that. Now, obviously, you'll be putting down quite a bit. I recommend doing it every time you stop a day, at least not abruptly. You can do it during if you do feel it's better, but rather not interrupt days. I recommend just marking it down as you go, or by the end of it, however you feel. Now, some notes, right? If you do get an achievement, I recommend putting it in the log and highlighting it in yellow. Let's just say I did a flip. Right? This obviously isn't that achievement worthy, but I'd fill this in yellow, because why not? And let's just say I did a flip off a cliff. Now, this is most likely going to result in a death, so I'd mark it red. If an achievement is also a death, I guess you can mark it orange. I don't know. I doubt that'll happen, but I guess whatever takes predominance. If it's spanning multiple cells, which I'm imagining the explanation for an achievement death would have to, you can just highlight it both. Now, moving on from the log. As you can see, it's pretty simple to do. And very important. Moving on to storage. Now, like I said before, this is anything you don't have on you. Let's say you're in a guild, right? You put your guild storage here. Now, guild inventories are a thing. So you are going to have to edit guild inventories twice, because you have to edit it here, and then you gotta edit it in another sheet. I wouldn't be too worried about it. It's pretty simple. Just make sure that there's no inconsistencies between the two. So storage area and the space in it, let's just say it's a box. You want to make sure it can't hold much, right? Just specify how much you can hold. Let's just say it's a hole in the ground, right? Whatever you want. Now, you can also put in storage technically things that you don't own, but things that you should mark down that you once had. So if you do plan on, like, let's say someone steals all your shit from you, like someone takes everything, but you plan on going to get it back, I would do a copy paste from main and just put it in the storage area and be like, I want these items back whenever I can, right? And when you find them, it'd be an easy copy paste back into your inventory. Just, well, advice. You don't have to do that, but this isn't just for things that you do own. It could be descriptions of things that you've lost, or I guess things that you plan to, but not sure why you'd do that. Now, that pretty much concludes storage. You can format it however you want. You can copy paste just item description, whatever, or you don't need to. It's really just however you need to remember you have something somewhere. Now here's the final tab, companions. This one is also pretty blank because you can get a lot of different companions and there's really no format that I could put down that would be better than you making your own. Now if it's humanoid, I recommend going back into main, taking armor item description, and copy pasting like this entire thing here just into it. You can copy paste cells and the format, so it's a rather easy one. As you can see, you can just do this, and well, let's do it a little better. Let's do it there. Let's say my companion's name is Charles. Alright. Obviously, I'm doing this rather quickly. You can format it a lot better if you have time. Let's say you find a guy who has the exact same stuff as you. Bam. Done. You can put down notes about him, whatever you want. This includes pets and your horse. I do recommend you put your horse down in here because if there's no marking that you own a horse, well, that's a problem for travel time. Any questions about this? I'm sure your DM would be more than happy to set it up with you. However you need to view it. It most likely won't get a lot of use for other DMs. It's mostly just a thing for yourself. But it's good to take note of what you know about a player or companion or animal in case there is a DM swap. And that pretty much concludes the Google Sheets inventory. As you can see, Doc says all the things that is on Sheets minus pictures and all that, and bars and all the gizmos and gadgets. But besides that, you now know how to use your inventory. If you do feel like you want to change anything about it, or that it's too complicated, we can simplify it. But besides that, we should be good. Thank you for watching, and subscribe to 24TL YouTube channel if you do wish to support us. And have a good day.